Hey guys, and welcome. We got it working here. Streamlabs was not cooperating with me. Welcome to Tea Time with Kai Dragon, or me, or however you want. I'm Kai, whatever the case may be, because my beard dragon, he's sound asleep. Otherwise, I would have had him on my shoulder earlier so we could talk tea. Not to mention this beautiful, beautiful merch here. So today's a little different. We were going to talk a little bit about parasocial constructs that happen with content creation and the box pause of the whole situation that happens. There's a whole can of worms there, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to the Dragon's Treasure for this very delicious cherry cola tea. I bought some of this off the Dragon's Treasure. Of course, it's green, so, my green screen kind of sucks, but this is fantastic. I gotta say, this was an awesome blend. I really like the flavor. It has a little bit of a sweetness to it, but it's not something that's really going to be like, oh my God, it's too sweet. It's perfect blend. So big shout out to the Dragon's Treasure for this tea. I purchased it a couple weeks ago, and I'm very, very happy with it. And of course, we got our boiling teapot here. This has got a lot of hot water on it, so got to be a little careful on that. And so it looks like YouTube. I got to check some on YouTube here, because we are multi-streaming today. We are on multiple networks, and figured we would celebrate tea. So to me, tea is one of those things that has been real important over the course of my life. It's something that is calming, relaxing, something that spreads a lot of joy, a lot of hope, a lot of peace. There's all sorts of teas. There's teas for blood pressure. There's teas for caffeine. There's literally all sorts of stuff. So I've been a big proponent of tea. And the best part is there's so many flavors. And I used to drink just the instant tea. I used to drink the pre-packaged tea. And let me tell you, loose leaf tea is the best way to go. And yes, this is a little bit bigger ball, so I have to measure it a little bit more careful, because this usually goes in a large, bigger pot. But over the years, I have developed this taste of tea, so I figured we would share it here, and appreciate that, Ram. And so we're going to talk about a little bit of different flavors. So the first thing, like I said, this cherry cola from the Dragon's Treasure. It has a nice, soft tea blend for somebody that wants maybe cherry cola as a replacement, because they don't like the zero products, or they don't like even just the diet. They want just something that kind of simulates it. I gotta say, I really like this tea. This has been really good. And we are still talking about doing merch here. So this is my own demo copy of this that I got. I did test this out. So, we'll see how that goes. Normally, TFG1 Mike would be here on Wednesdays for the Dragon Slayer, but unfortunately, he is under the weather. God bless you, brother. Hope you get feeling better. I know that it's, you're not feeling the greatest. Miss you. And so I figured we'd chat a little bit, and then maybe later in the evening, we'll throw up a game and kind of go through that. So while we're doing tea, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the crazy stuff going on in the world. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, and this has been an interesting thing that has been bouncing around on X, which I think it's an interesting kind of turn of events when you kind of look at the large scope of how everything plays together. Also, we'll talk about why I don't have any music on today, because that's a whole other can of worms. It seems like there's a whole bunch of can of worms. I figured things would calm down a little bit, but no, we've just dialed it up just a little bit more and caused a little bit more strife. I don't know. It's so damn weird just how so much goes on. So back to the parasocial constructs. So a lot of the things that you see, like on X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it. I've given up and call it X now. I still call it Twitter. There was a discussion about content creation and how fast people grow and how big they get their fan base. Well, there's this problem with this parasocial is the viewers connect themselves with the content creators through either no fault of the content creator, and so they think that their brother, or they think they're a lover, or they think they've become infatuated. It happens a lot with Hollywood, but with content creators in general. It's something that's becoming more and more kind of scary. But also the question is, does a content creator bring it upon themselves? So I will say I like the VTuber world, for example. I absolutely love it. I think it's great. I think it's cool, all the art you can do. And big shouts to Rock. Fantastic interview. If you have not seen that interview, it is up on my channel. And you get to learn a lot more about VTubing, the rigging part about discussions, the 2D model, 3D model, kind of how it came up. She is an amazing artist, and she was very friendly. And one of the few that actually responded to me when I was reaching out for people to interview, and which was great, because I feel like it's difficult to get people to respond to an interview. There is folks out there that I want to interview as I continue to grow the media channel, because I'm getting back into journalism. Like right now I'm writing my Warcraft review, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle review, and trying to get all that deadlines on top of the Guardian channel and everything going. So I've been freaking busy. And yesterday I had a migraine. That's why I couldn't do it, because I missed work. So I was like, okay, if I miss one job, I'm going to miss the other, because I don't want to start all that crap, because, YouTube does not pay. It's not my dominant job. So that's one thing we did. But I have noticed that a lot of the VTubers, especially ladies, and this is no offense to anybody, but the thing I've noticed as an observer, I just kind of sit on the sidelines, is a lot of times I've seen a lot of lady VTubers posting very, how I say, sexy pictures, or them bent over, or stuff like that, a lot of times on Twitter, and it's to garner people to follow. It's garner for attention. It's to get people to want to check them out, which is a great advertisement, because, part of the thing is they talk about it, sex sells, all that stuff. That's something that has always been great in it. But, and this happens more with ladies than it does guys, I've seen, but it creates this parasocial dynamic that somebody that's a viewer might fall in love with them, or get the wrong messages, or think that's their exclusive waifu. And you start running into this danger that it creates an obsession. And the scary thing about this obsession that I've noticed is that when they get obsessed, sometimes it don't go away. Sometimes it gets worse. I recently read a manhwa that was kind of frightening, that they literally played off content creators. And I got thinking about that, just how scary it's became. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the crazy stuff that I saw on X that just makes me go, what the hell's going on here? So it creates this construct where they think they become obsessed with an individual. Sometimes you'll see them shower them with money. You'll see them throw $1,000. I've seen, so like Shoujo had some interesting ones on Twitch where dude literally threw $1,000. I think there was one to Melody that was like $10,000. That seems obsessive when you're talking about super chat stuff. That seems like it goes into the dangerous part of somebody's overly obsessed. I don't know anybody that just throws that kind of money around. that simple. That's kind of scary when you think about that. I see, $10, $20, $50, even $100 super chat. I see that, especially if you're enjoying the show and you're trying to support the creator and all that. But it creates this weird dynamic that they start feeling like they're the boyfriend of the VTuber or the girlfriend of the VTuber, and they get more and more obsessed, and that gets scary. They recently, just on X, there was a VTuber I talked about. She went to she did at a convention, and I don't know the full story, so I'm not going to say the name or anything, but one of the persons brought a gift to her booth, and it had a freaking tracking device in it. And this guy became obsessed with this virtual character to the point that they were stalking them. That's freaking creepy. And that's one thing that I've always said. You got to be careful in how content creation. And the problem with content creation is there's many people out there, and everybody's trying to step it up. Sexy poses, silly memes, anything you can do to break through and get an audience. Because once you have an audience, if you have 50 people watching you daily, if you have 20 people watching you daily, it starts adding up. And more people see this and they come in. A lot of times, if you have 1 or 2 viewers on a channel, people will skip that. Sometimes they'll give it a chance, sometimes they don't, but that's the cost of being a content creator. Problem is, by doing that type of clout, that type of chasing, it draws in the lunatics. And unfortunately, that's what we're seeing today. The other thing with it is you're also, on the other end, you're seeing people doing stupid things as content creators, whether it's breaking foreign laws, such as the incident with Johnny in Korea. You have people going to Japan and acting like idiots, and all for clout. They're doing it for clout. They're doing it for clicks. They're doing it for people to watch because they're trying to find the next best greatest thing, the next viral thing. They're not worried about steady flow of growth. They're trying to get that instant gratification, and you get people that idolize these people. And you got to think about it. All the big creators whether it's men or women, VTuber, non-VTuber, there is somewhere that there is a parasocial link from the creator to an individual that is absolutely obsessed with them. Sometimes you can even consider A-loggers as an obsession. Look at people that A-log DSP or Ricada or any of these. Yes, sometimes it's better just to let the creators just drown and move on, because at some point you're giving them more attention, you're giving them more clout, you're giving them all sorts of things that you do not want to do. But it also creates this weird situation. I mean, even think about the thing what happens. You see some of these bigger creators getting swatted. It's just scary how this happens. Do I know if there's a solution to this? No. But it's the dangers that you go by. And I was hoping I was going to have a couple guests so we could talk more about Parasocial and if there is better ways. But as the content creation sphere continues to grow in YouTube, Twitch, Kick, X, wherever the case may be, everybody's going to want to step it up more. Step it up a notch. They got to keep going. They keep going. They got to keep going. They got to push it and break those boundaries. And sometimes those boundaries are there for a reason. I mean, right now, for example, I'm just a small YouTube channel. I've been that way for about 3 years. My big thing is I like streaming. I like engaging with my audience. I like talking, such as Ramcross. He's hanging out here with me tonight. A big shout out to you, Ramcross. And I got a few viewers on X. Big shout out to my X viewers. Some people don't talk. Some people do. I don't really care if they talk or not. I love my lurkers just as much as I love those who engage with me directly. That's very important to me. you know, a lot of these controversies. I just want people that talk. Has it ever concurred to them that sometimes people just want to kick back, vibe with something, and relax? And yeah, you're kind of a half lurker around, but that's because you go to bed so damn early, like an old man. But that's for work reasons. Hi, Holly Richards. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. I'm Kai, and I'm a content creator on YouTube, X, and I talk about news. I play games, a lot of games, survival strategy. Working on, we're working on reviews, interviewing other creators. So I kind of do a little bit of everything. And today we're having tea time with the dragon. So we're doing some tea. And yes, Ram, you are a lurker, but that's a good thing. A half lurker, side lurker, whatever the hell you want to call it. I mean, that's just the way it goes. So we're done with our cherry cola, which, you know, I definitely have to savor my cherry cola because that's a good one. Yes, I'm an awesome strategy gamer. Thanks, Ram. We are doing Empire of Ants Friday night. So I'm looking forward to that because as a kid, I loved having ant farms and stuff and always interacting with stuff like that. So, you know, this is something good. And we might do a little bit of Elin tonight, which if we do, I'm just going to continue where I left off. So you can see a little bit of gameplay there. But how do you spell my name? It's Kai. Oh god, dude, I love that. And I played Sim Ants as a kid for Super Nintendo. I know they say PC was a better one for that, but I really enjoyed it. And all right, next one we're gonna do is Passion Fruit. This is from my local tea store. So I'm gonna kind of cover this one, and I'm sure you can see the passion. I'm sure you can find this, and it's KAI, Holly. Like I said, this is I usually do a talk show on Wednesdays, and we talk about issues, and I usually have guests on, except my co-host is sick. Holly, I have 3 screens going right now. I have the full screen version, I have YouTube Shorts, and I also have X on. So I am multi-streaming right now. So you are definitely going to see, so I am responding to everybody that comes on because I like engaging. And yes, Sim Ant was another one that was near and dear to my heart, Ram. I always cussed out the human that decided to walk and kill my ant and killed the spider. He was a pain in the ass. So we got passion fruit going here. And my trusty cup, we're steeping it. Now, there's a fun fact that a lot of people don't know about tea. Yes, Holly? And there's a fun thing about tea that a lot of people don't know about. Oh, crap, I did that, didn't I? Uh-oh. There we go. That usually can reuse tea more than once. Usually you can steep it, maybe, depending on the strength of it, 2 or 3 times. It does lose its potency, but you can do that. And Holly, swearing I would be very careful on because YouTube don't like that. I personally don't care as long as you're just following the TOS, but it's not hard to make teabag jokes. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So passion fruit is definitely a little bit sweeter. So not something that I like a lot of because I don't do a lot of sweet teas. I'm not a big fan of sweet tea. I'm all natural, but sometimes you can do that. And it just kind of depends on... YouTube's kind of a strange beast when it comes to swearing, Holly. Some people get in trouble, some people don't. I don't recommend it just because I just don't want to see anybody get banned. I just... That's one thing that I am adamant against it. Thank you for the likes, guys. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you never know what's going to get you in trouble. That's just it. You never know what's going to get you in trouble on YouTube. I mean, you can follow all the terms of service, you can follow everything, so you have to be really, really careful. That's the one thing. So, and that goes with the chatters too, and things like that. You just gotta. It's an off and on process, but you know, it's man. There's so much to talk about on that. But as far as content creation, you know, you got guys that go out and cause a lot of trouble, or they prank. Another one, prank channels. People that go out there and prank people at the mall. People that do the stupidest stuff. Let's just say that's a cause of concern as well. You know, they've had content creators that have got severely injured. I think one even got shot because they messed with the wrong person in the prank, but they were doing it because they were trying to grow clout. They were trying to build themselves. They were trying to, hopefully somebody's going to give them some acknowledgement. Hopefully somebody's going to give them a crumb. Somebody's going to give them. You don't do that. You don't do that. That's something you never do. You don't know how somebody's going to react. Number one, if you don't know them, you don't play pranks on them. I don't care. And then it depends on the level of the prank. Like, I made a joke with Ram Cross, but he's been one of my subscribers and viewers for like 3 damn years. He's an old man at this point. But the thing with it is, I know him well enough. I can joke with him because we have that relationship. But people that just go out and prank random people, there's things you don't do. I mean, there's a channel I like called Orange Pranks. It's a phone channel. I think it's like 2-3 million subscribers, and he does all sorts of voice acting. And he's like, "Holy shit," you know, and he's just making fun of stuff or doing something. Like, my favorite one was Bernie Sanders. Back in 2016. Bernie Sanders, guy called. Right, it says people push it now and getting. Yeah, it's true. This one called this guy's dad because he was a very big Trump supporter, and he was pretending to be part of the Bernie Sanders campaign, asking for a donation. So he kept calling the guy's dad and just hassling him and then changing his voice, and it was hilarious, just the guy's reaction. But you know, the guy's son put the guy up to it, whereas he's got in trouble too. He mentioned that he got in trouble because a prank went really bad. He pranked somebody that worked for the FBI. He didn't realize how bad it really got. He still has it up on Orange Pranks. He talked about it. He even showed the prank, and yeah, I was like, don't do that. That's bad. But the point is, people will skate the line for clout just to grow, and that's the scary part. And you have to know where the limit is. Yes, my goal is to make people laugh, smile, inform them, entertain them, engage them, all that. But there's a limit on what you can do. Now, that may make me just an everyday Joe that's an accountant by day and a content creator by night and a gardener that, you know, teach people how to grow food on my second channel. But at least I'm not getting in trouble. People are safe, and I am steadily growing a new audience. That's a big thing to do. You want to steadily grow an audience of people that want to be there. Hi, Rye. And that's the most important thing. Yes, Holly. So, you know, I've grown a good audience over the years, and, you know, it's slow, small, but I'm happy we're steadily getting people. Because I know not everybody can attend the streams. I mean, you know, I stream two hours, you know, when I do stream, and then at night or on the weekends, sometimes the streams go 6-7 hours. I get that. That can be rough. And I'm sure this Empire Vance is going to go late on Friday, but that's the nice thing about it. But then I also am trying to work on my reviews and my smaller stuff to put on the channel that's all about it. I mean, the thing about it is journalism still exists. Game journalists, mainstream media, things like that, they don't always like to tell the truth. They don't always like to get to the point. They like to steer you one way. For me, I like when I'm looking at like the Teenage Mutant Turtle game. Crap says 2 hours, bro. You mean 4 to 6 hours? Yeah, you're right, Holly. No pranks. Yeah, you don't ever want to do pranks like that with a YouTube channel or not. But it's interesting that, you know, these reviews I've been working on, a lot of things I've done. I've got the B-roll ready, but I'm finishing writing the documentaries up. So the two main ones that I'm working on review right now is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. Fantastic game. Big shout out to Team Megacorp for a fantastic product that's a great roguelite, which we'll probably play that again sometime on the stream. And Warcraft. Now, my gripe with Warcraft, and this is the part that I really don't like. So I bought the Warcraft Remastered Trilogy. Warcraft 1, same UI. I just improved the graphics a little bit. So they didn't polish up the UI or the AI. So it was just, hey, we're going to touch up the art just a little bit and then repackage it. Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 still been my favorite OG game that I played thousands of hours on, online and offline. They improved the graphics on it too, but same thing. Units still get stuck. You don't have a lot of the micromanagement that you do in Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3, which honestly, that surprised me. Ramcross and I were talking about that. The viewership was way down for Warcraft 3 compared to Warcraft 2, which I found fascinating because that was the third one. That was the remastered. And we were looking at the analytics of it, and we were talking about that. Despite being the best one out of the three, which oddly it crashed twice on my computer, which I have no freaking idea what the hell happened on that, it still turned out to be the more fun one. The management on it was so much better. I could tell a peasant or peon or whatever to go do this. Now, we had some good games playing against AI since I had no idea what the hell I was doing because it'd been like 10 years, or well, not 10 years. How long was it since I went to college? Holy shit, it really was over 10 years. 2010 is when I retired from really trying to do professional Warcraft 3. Holy crap. Me and my cousin did a 2v2 and we were up there about 800. So yeah, that was interesting. And welcome back, Holly. And hey, Ivan. So Ivan asked me, how did you manage to contact a VTuber and discuss about how she started up her VTuber journey and other topics? It's cool to see. That is what I'm trying to do more of. I am actually trying to get more people to interview that are content creators. So that's something that will be coming. I have asked probably 15 people. Out of those 15 people, one said that they were one said that they, and I'm not going to give names. I ain't saying anything like that because I am somebody that is very private when it comes to journalism. Good journalists never reveals their sources. But they said they were terrified and social anxiety even to do a recording, but yet they were posting nothing but lewd poses and lewd pictures of their character, growing their Twitter and talking, sexy on Twitch. So whatever. I was like, okay, that one's done. Sarek was actually the second one that I emailed or messaged on X, because sometimes you can DM somebody behind the scenes and talk to them. And it was really cool. Sarek responded to me about 3 hours after I sent the message, which honestly I thought, oh my God, they probably thought, oh my God, I'm some freaking creeper because there's so many weirdos out there. And no, she responds, says, hey, yeah, I'd love to do an interview. And we talked a little bit before we did the interview, and then it was about an hour and 30 minutes for the interview. I had to cut a lot out of it. And she was helping me, showing me some stuff I didn't even know about, which was really cool. So big shout out to Sarek on that. And it was really good to hear her thoughts. And underage VTuber, that is, made them with a normal 9 to 5 and also depend if they wanted to do an interview too. So the other ones that I've hit, I have one interview on Monday that I'm recording Monday evening. And they have a pretty good sized following. They have their own podcast, Under the Tea. So that one, a big shout out to Under the Tea. That one should be very interesting. I'm very interested to see where this one will go in the conversations. Nora reached out to me, and the rest of them have went absolutely quiet. I don't know if I should have just used their business email, but it probably would have flagged the spam. So I took a risk. And so the one thing with me, Ivan, is I have no regrets asking, because it's better to ask now than not do it. And Holly asked, so I have Twitch. No, I'm not really a big Twitch person, unfortunately, because all the crap that's going on Twitch. Maybe in the future, I know I'm trying to get it set up where I'll be on YouTube Shorts, Kick, X, and Rumble. Those are, so I'll be streaming 5 locations at one point, but it's all a work in process. But I know. Oh, exactly, Ivan. So, I've taken the risk and just said, hey, are you guys interested in interviewing? And I just say, hey, I just want to hear about your story. I want to hear how you came to VTubing. I want to hear about your VTubing journey. I would like to get more of insight. There's also content creators that I'd like to interview that are non-VTubers. So there is some folks that I would like to interview. So I'll give you a list of some names that I'm hoping that I can someday get an interview of. Rima, who's a VTuber that covers the news and does fantastic documentaries. I would love to be able to sit there and ask her questions about how she does her documentaries, how she sets it up, and all that, because she seems like a really, really fun VTuber. Big shout out to Rima, Evenstar. I'd love to have her on the show. Another one that I would like to have at some point, because I think he's got some interesting takes and insight, would be the Dragon's Treasure. Shout out to you, buddy, if you're watching. Love to talk with you a little bit, because I think he's up to 18,000 subscribers on his channel. He talks a lot of anime and other things. Love to talk with him. And then big or small, it never really matters to me when it comes to interviewing. So fun fact that for those that may not know, my mom used to have an online magazine a long time ago, back when I was still in college. That was back in from 2007 to I think 2011. She got to go to a lot deconcerts. She interviewed a lot of people. She interviewed one of my favorite bands before they were popular, which was Five Finger Death Punch. She got to interview Hailstorm before they were popular. I mean, so to me, it's really cool when you interview these people, and then a year or two later, they just explode, and they're huge. So I think it'd be awesome. I hope Sarok just explodes, and she gets really, really, really popular, and, everything goes great for her, because then that makes me feel very happy for that individual that they really took off and shined. And then it's great because you can go back and reflect on them 2-3 years later, and there it is, the original interview before they were famous. You get to hear, and sometimes you hear different stories, and to me it's all about the journey and the content creation, or your businesses that you do. I love that engagement. I love that dialogue. I think it's fantastic. And so that's what's got me into journalism. And I like the VTubers sphere, because what fascinates me with VTubing is you can change your appearance, your wardrobe, with a snap of your fingers, basically. You can change it all. So you could literally make 3 or 4 different VTubers models, I think, and you could have a literal argument with yourself, changing your voice to do an argument about a video or some. There's so much you could do with it. Versus, okay, so if I wanted to do a play, let's just say I was reviewing a game and there was a lot of corporate greed and I really didn't give a damn about the game. I'd have to throw on my suit, find some type of hairpiece, probably put on my tie, and then I'd have to do all the roles and voice of the corporate stooge. We'll just call him corporate stooge. Well, yes, this was how we intended it. We needed to price gouge and we needed to get more money for our DLCs. And by the way, we needed this cash shop because we know people are stupid and will buy our garbage. I would like to do stuff like that. But the fact that you literally have to do all that in one suit, voice all those roles. Then I have to flip over and maybe I'm the journalist role at that point. You have to go through a lot of different stages, whereas a VTuber, the fact that I get, like Ciroc showed, bam, she changed her model and now she was Shadow the Hedgehog kind of. That is really fantastic. And I think that is a great way. I mean, hell, you're seeing VTubers on billboards and stuff. It's just really fascinating what you see with creation, and it's great because it's art. It says the self-AI version VTuber, they're based on a real VTuber, is pretty interesting to watch and react. Oh yeah, I've seen the AI VTuber. And yes, the form of art of VTubing is amazing and growing, and it will continue to grow. The problem is that you're always going to have a few bad apples in there, or many bad apples. It just, as something grows in popularity, you're going to have the good and the bad. And that's the thing with any content creation you do, you're going to have good and bad, and that's the problem with it. Or you get the rock star mentality. Like there is some content creators that you watched a slow death spiral, that you used to look up to them or you used to like at them. Let's for example, I don't like using names too much, but let's just say Rich at Review Tech USA. I used to watch his stuff when I was still in college back in like 2007 through 2010. I used to watch his 10, 15-minute videos about something news or take. He just deleted his 1 million subscriber channel, but he went on this weird death spiral that just his career just went in flames. Or, Arcade of Law. I used to love watching him. And with all the stuff that's happened over the last couple years, it's just been a slow death spiral as well. Can they recover? Maybe, probably not. I don't know. But the problem with it is, every time you look at these creators that get big and popular, they just collapse. And yes, Holly. And Ivan says, look at Guard with her showing up at the baseball game collab in the US. Pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, you mean Gara? Yeah, the Gara thing was really cool. I mean, most people remember you Review Tech USA. They used to get all sorts of fun stories and stuff. I mean, it's sad how this all happened and changed. It's just like, it was a pure death spiral for some people. I mean, and you can't lose yourself as you get popular. You cannot lose yourself. You can't sacrifice your morals and your character, because at the end of the day, people still come to you to watch your stuff for your character and how you act and how you present yourself. If you lose that, you lose your audience. And that's just how it works. Is there pressure? Yeah. But if that's your job, if streaming becomes your 9 to 5, and that is your sole income, you take advantage of it. You take advantage of it. You have a lot more time to plan. You have a lot more. Yes, does it mean you're not going to be just doing 8 hours of streaming? Yeah, you're not going to do 8 hours of streaming. You may do 4 or 5 hours. Holly says, so many people are banned from me. I get notified. It's crazy. Oh, off YouTube. Yeah, people do get banned off YouTube a lot. Yeah, but that's if they break the terms of service because, let's just say the terms of service is vague. And one of the hardest things with content creators is you need to have transparency. Twitch is the same problem. Kick kind of has some of the problem, not as bad. Rumble is just an open market, whatever. But the thing with it is content creators also need more transparency on stuff, what goes on, and they need to be able to talk to a human. They need to be able to engage with that human and resolve any issues or discrepancies or problems. And that includes copyright, and we'll talk a little bit about that shortly, about copyright. It's a wild world. But that's the thing that we're dealing with. But to your point, Ivan, yes, I will be continuing to do interviews. That is a new thing that will continue to be on my platform. It have its own category that says interviews with content creators. The other one is going to be reviews on there, and then also news and updates. News and updates going to be pretty much anything, and I'll probably curate that and remove stuff that's no longer relevant after maybe a year, because really news changes like the wind. Not just, it's what media is. Streams will probably stay up, but yeah, Holly, people are idiots because of it. And Ivan says, full-time VTuber is luxurious as independent agency, especially VTuber marker, very big and challenging. If you can get it big as a VTuber in an indie world, like say Doki Bird, Doki Bird had a lot of trouble, in her previous incarnation with a certain corpo, which, we're not going to dive too deep now. There's a lot out there. I think Legal Mindset has a lot of great takes on that stuff. But if you can make it as an indie and make 6 figures and do everything on your own, you know what? You're kicking ass. I mean, so the way I look at it, when we do content creation, if you're doing, like, I do content creation full time as well as my day job, but I don't have the time of day to basically do 15 hours a day content creation. It's like one of those things that I'm like, holy crap, I may have only 4 hours this day, but there's reviews I want to get out. There is news I want to get out. But, I want to do these streams because streaming is one of the things that I enjoy the most. I love interacting with every individual. I think it's very important to interact with you guys. Whether you're lurking or you're engaging, it don't matter. You guys kick ass. I really appreciate you all. I really do. That's how I am when it comes to it. And I am also a journalist at this point. I've talked about once I get, the capital back up, I'll be doing an online magazine following kind of footsteps of my mom, but it's going to have gardening, it's going to have gaming, it's going to have movie reviews, it's going to have all that for those that want to read it in text-based form. But that's a project that's ways down the road, because if you look at IGN, you look at Kotaku, you look at all those, they're just not honest enough, in my opinion, when it comes to their reviews or their magazines or anything they do. And you need good journalism. You need to have good takes. And I have no problem coming on here and following up with stuff, because that's the way it should be. If I think a game sucks, I will defend that. And I have no problem saying that. There's plenty of games that I think suck. It's just like we're going to me and Orc are coming back together Thursday, December 12th to do the Game Awards roast. We will watch the Game Awards and we're going to roast the hell out of it and the choices. Which I hope like hell Elden Ring, the DLC, doesn't get a damn Game of the Year, because there's a lot of other games that should have got Game of the Year. That should be like continuation game or something. That's so stupid. But I take rest on that. This tea has been fantastic. I definitely love the Dragon's Treasure Cherry Cola way better. I just wish the package wasn't green. Damn green screen. And what's up, Holly? Fantastic. Change up. So we're going to be doing one of my favorite teas that is relaxing, is we've been having black teas. So we're going to do a green tea. But it's got chamomile, it's got it's 7 different herbs to it, not just tea. And we're going to be doing that next. So we're going to talk a little bit about this one. If you can find it, it's called Emperor 7. It's imported from China. So keep in mind, a lot of the teas are imported. That's just the way it is. I don't really think a lot of teas get made here in the U.S. I mean, just saying, that's just not plausible half the time. I do have a tea that is so expensive. I bought it as a small sampler. And the reason I bought it as a small sampler is it was a celebratory tea. So I said if we hit 5,000 subs and 100 concurrent, I would drink it on stream. And Ramcross said they had slim pickings on games. Yeah, they really did this year. They really definitely did. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Wukong takes it, because Wukong was a pretty cool game. I didn't play it, but I watched some people play through it. Looked fantastic. Had no real complaints. I'll get some more tea, hot boiling water here. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to cover something interesting that me and Mike talked about on Saturday. That's part of the reason why we didn't have a stream, because by the time we got done with that and we weren't really arguing. It was more discussion, so I don't want anybody to think that. It was more debating on legalities and stuff, which was a good conversation. Probably should have done on stream because we were talking about it. So, content creator recently got flagged for a copyright strike on YouTube. And they generated their music on Suno AI. They came up with the music, told it what to do, and it made it. They used it. They played it on their stream. Apparently someone found a illegal or legal bypass and said, hey, that's their music, and did the whole shenanigan crap, which of course leads to the whole argument, because I was looking at some of the terms of service and Suno and stuff, and it's interesting, which also kind of puts content creators in a bind, in my opinion, because I think at that point the music world sucks, because it's so easy to copyright claim anything. And so if you create something with AI, nobody owns it. Basically, no matter, even if you make it with your AI generator, you make your art, you make any of that, you don't own it. Nobody owns it. It was made by artificial intelligence, therefore you don't own it, which is part of the reason why Hollywood is really trying to get laws changed, so where they can say AI owns, you own this because you did it with AI, because they want to basically corner that market. There's good and bad with AI. Let's just talk about that for a minute. AI helps people that don't have a lot of money, so they're trying to get art. It also helps with people that need some samplings to kind of get inspired. I mean, there's a lot of good things that AI is great for scraping the internet to find ChatGPT. I like that we did a demo of it here on this channel, even how ChatGPT works, and it was really cool because we could get all these books cited for Genghis Khan and everything. So if you wanted to read the books, you got it. The thing with it, though, also, guys, if you haven't yet, smash that like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. I really, really do appreciate y'all hanging out here today on X and YouTube short stream. But the problem with AI is nobody owns it. So if somebody says, oh, hey, that music sounds close to mine, even though you generated it, you told the parameters what to do, people can still try to claim that they own it. Technically, they don't own it either, but you're going to have to fight YouTube and the person that makes the claim. They're going to say, well, wait a minute, I own this because it's mine. YouTube automatically flags the creator and says, guilty, guilty, guilty. They without any evidence or anything. So like some guy could just say, hey, I'm copyrighting this because this music's mine. Well, YouTube's going to, flag your video and say, oh, well, you're going to have to give them your revenue. What ends up happening is the creator has to counterclaim, say, no, you don't. You only get like 200, 300 words. And what ends up happening is YouTube still stays out of it, but the creator has to divulge all their name. That was a problem why Iron Mouse lost her channels, because she was not going to fight all these fake copyright claims because it was some creepy stalker weirdo that was just trying to get her real life name and address and everything. So, there was not, but the claimant is just some random name on the internet, and that's the problem. The copyright system needs completely revamped and changed on YouTube and everywhere else, because I get people don't want to be sued. I get people don't want to deal with that. But there's a lot of fraud that happens when it comes to copyrights. And you're absolutely correct, Ramcross. It's going to happen. Might as well deal with it sooner or later. So what's going on is a lot of corporations are trying to push to make AI now owned by certain individuals, basically stating, well, I own the music, or I own the script for this movie because it was done with AI and I bought the rights and everything and we used our AI to do it. A lot of corporations are trying to push for it. But the problem is, how do I word it? It's going to get dicey in the copyright. It gets kind of dicey. And Holly says, Kai, I need to know the age for your channel. My channel's been around 3 years. If that's what you mean. But, when you're looking at the corporations, it's going to be good or worse. AI is here to stay. But how the courts and how the politicians are going to handle copyright and the laws behind that scares the hell out of me. So right now, like me creating music for some of the streams I do, it's still kind of risky. Will I still do it? More than likely, yeah. Until I get bigger and I can hire my own artists. But here's the problem with that. Even if I hired my own artist, some asshole could try to claim it too. It's a never-ending battle. And that's the problem with the copyright. Oh, Holly. I pretty much consider my channel adult. Pretty much, yeah. It's definitely, to answer your question, Holly, it's definitely not kid-friendly because we swear and stuff like that, because really, I'm still old school when it comes to that. I'm 44. You really shouldn't swear around kids or any of that stuff. I mean, and things like that. But YouTube lets you connect to everything. Like, all my stuff says it's not for kids. Never is. Even if it was, it never is. Hell, my gardening channel is flagged not for kids, even though kids can learn gardening. But, I mean, that's just kind of how it works. So, yeah, it's an interesting world when you look at the copyrights. And I don't know if it's going to get any better. I don't know. I am hopeful. So for some of those that watch, I'm trying to think how to word this. All right. So Trump won the election. There was something that he said that was interesting. He wants to make platforms, social media, all platforms like YouTube and stuff, be more transparent for content creators. So if you did something wrong, and they have to say you did it this on 3 minutes and 15 seconds, you said a no word, or you did this, chance to correct it, chance to appeal it, chance to actually talk to a human being. If they put that forth, I think that's going to be a great idea. I think that's probably one of the best things I've heard for content creators, because you need transparency. Remember, it says, realistically, I'm the one that most times not makes safe for kids. Dude, do you know the guys that I run in circles with? I mean, freaking Orcosaurus isn't definitely not safe for kid content. Love him. Big shout out to my brother Orc out there. Great guy. Big shout out to TFG1 Mike. So, you know, it's kind of just one of those things that you kind of look at and think, So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of stuff going out there, but I haven't, there will be more interviews. It's time consuming, just trying to get a lot of people, and I'll keep asking, keep hunting around, keep asking on X, you know. I think the word of mouth, once the word of mouth gets around that I'm a journalist and just trying to get information from folks, you know, as far as their stories, because everybody in a content creator has a story. Why did they become a content creator? How did they become a content creator? Were they a flesh tuber before a VTuber? Were they a VTuber before a flesh tuber? Or they've always been a VTuber? There was thousands of different stories, and everyone has a different thing. My story is going to be completely different of why I became a content creator than the guy next door. You know, you don't need a damn degree for that. By the way, colleges are now offering, that's what they call it. Oh, that's okay, Holly. That's okay. And Safka says, flesh tuber, maybe phrasing. No, that's literally what they call them, Safika. That's literally what they call it. What they call it flesh tubers because you're in your real life form, you're fleshy. You know, that's what they call it. I have no idea. That's something that's been going on since the dawn of frickin' time. I don't know why YouTubers don't call people just content creators. Gosh, Jesus. What is wrong with you? Well, stop. I can list it. Sauka says, I was here at the dawn of time, and YouTube arrived very late. Don't ask me why VTubers call us flesh tubers. Now, granted, I am working on a VTuber model. Holly, you can stay all you want. That's fine. I mean, you don't have to worry about that. But the thing about it, guys, this is the funny part with it, is I don't know how it came up, but there's also this weird wall. So here's another problem with content creation. There's a wall that's been put up. One side you got flesh tubers, one side you got VTubers. This wall stays right here. It's really hard to get VTubers and physical content creators to work together. It's stupid because there is no freaking reason why you should have to do that. None. There is literally no reason. Everybody's a content creator, whether you're in physical form or you're a VTuber. Yes, I have a VTuber concept that I'm working on. That way, if I don't feel like being on camera that night or whatever, I can switch to it. Or maybe I want to do some entertaining roles with it for you guys. That's why I'm looking into it. There's a difference here. There is something that I like looking into this stuff, but like I said, there is this wall here, and it's hard for either side to cross over. Some people don't think interacting with an anime character is wrong, which I think is absolutely stupid because there's no reason for it. I think it's cool. And then there's VTubers, and there's a lot of them that will not interact with me because I'm in human form. Really? I don't give a shit. I respect everybody's anonymity because that's the important thing. You as a creator have to respect somebody's privacy. It's like, I'll say this. Me and Orc have talked about this. One day, when we both get big, one day, and that's our dream, we get big. I mean, that's the dream we do. He's still going to be a VTuber. And if I decide to do some world traveling and I decide to go to England or something, and I want to have him tag along with me while we go on an adventure or something and see some stuff, that way you guys get stuff, he's literally going to be a TV that I carry around. And he can see everything. Like Sea-Dog does with Iron Mouse. Guess what? Or they do at TwitchCon and stuff like that. Because, you know what? Some people like to keep their privacy. Now, I may know what he looks like privately, if that case we want to hang out and off collab, but guess what? That's the important thing you have to have with the respect. VTubing offers another layer of protection that a lot of people don't have. Now, me, I could have just started with VTubing, but guess what? I got a freaking gardening channel and I'm writing recipes to add to the channel for cooking. Do you really think that that's really going to be easy for me just to do that? No. So, screw it. And it's like, I'm just a guy, nothing to hide. I don't give a shit. So, guess what? I'll do both. And I'll interact with both every day of the week. Every day of the week. I love interviewing creators. So, X, if anybody on X is watching and you want to do an interview, message me. I don't care. I will gladly do an interview with you. So we kind of covered quite a bit tonight, talking about a lot of different things. And, I really, really have enjoyed doing this tea sessions. So what we're going to do, I think, going forward with this tea session stuff is once a week, Tuesdays, we'll be having a tea stream. We'll be drinking tea. I'll probably try to get some more teas. Granted, I got like over 200 different bags of different loose leaf tea. So we go through a lot of stuff, but I think I also want to go get a few more teas from the Dragon's Treasure to try his teas as well, because he makes all his own tea. And big shout out to Dragon's Treasure again. I'm glad I bought this. So this is the cherry cola tea, very reasonable price, fantastic. And if you want a good substitute for not having all that damn sugar, or you just don't want to have all the saccharin crap, definitely check this out. This is really, really good. Ramcross, you make your own tea bags. I bet you do, Ramcross. I bet you do. What, you make your own tea bags when you play Call of Duty 4, 5, 6, Battlefield 1, 2, Z, or whatever the hell it is, right? But anyway, that's the thing that I will say, that Hi, Holly. You found the bigger channel where everybody's talking. So yeah, Tuesdays will be tea time with the dragon. We're gonna have different teas. We're gonna talk about stuff, and then we'll follow up with some games probably. Gonna plan a lot of different stuff out. My partner, my co-host TFG1 Mike, is out sick today. Otherwise, we normally have the Dragon Slayer. We would have talked about game issues. We would have Ramcross said went straight to commercial. Yeah, suck it, Ramcross. You missed what I said. Anyway, so he had a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. Oh, there's a movie sequel coming out. I really don't want it. I think it's absolutely freaking stupid. Dogma 2. Kevin Smith is writing Dogma 2. What? Why? Why are we tarnishing great classics? I know, Safka, you don't have to watch it. I just feel like Kevin Smith has not been writing like he used to. I feel like... Yeah, Safka, you never ever watched Rise of Skywalker? Oh yeah, I fist bump you. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Luke being a bitter old bastard was not in my cards. So yeah, hell no. Hell no. That was interesting, but yeah. I honestly, Star Wars is gone for me. The story, the writing has been absolute manure. I don't really care for it. Star Wars has been long gone to me. Hell, most of Marvel's been long gone to me. It's just the script writing. We've started to accept mediocrity for art. It used to be, man, this movie kicked ass. I miss the days of Siskel and Ebert, where they were really good at what they did. And the problem with it, when you look at these movies and books and games nowadays, a lot of times the story sucks because mediocrity is acceptable, and then they wonder why things don't sell well. I mean, yes, mechanics is a thing in the game stuff, but if you want to really capture my attention, write a damn good story. And don't try to repeat stuff all the time. Now, is there always going to be stuff that is cliche? Yeah. Everything's been there and done that. It's all about how you go about it when it comes to whether you want it to be cliche or not. That's the thing with it. There is options. There's always options. Siskel and Ebert punch out. Yeah, and Ramcross is right. There's nothing new under the sun. That is the problem with this. We're missing so much. You like my background? Is it real? Well, I hate to break it to you. I wish it was real. No, Mid-Journey, because I didn't have the art capabilities, unfortunately. So, it's a green screen. Okay, we'll call you Owen. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But no, I wish it was real. If it was real like this, I'd be in paradise, guys. This is just this is just peaceful, serene. If your background's artificial, does that make you a VTuber? Yes. Yes, okay, we'll go with that. And Luna says, it's okay, Kai. You can pretend it's real, much like we all pretend that Rise of Skywalker does exist. Oh, Jesus. Are we really going back to this? Yep, we are. We're here. We're here. We just accept it. What the hell? We're back at it. I'm a green tuber. Yep. Yep. And guess what? You can follow me on X. You can follow me on, subscribe to me on YouTube. Also, guys, smash that like button if you haven't on YouTube yet. For God's sakes, help me out here. But No, I'd love to have a tea house like this. I'd film all day. This advocate says, I could talk at length what I would do to change that trilogy by not doing it. There you go. I solved it. That trilogy was such an abomination. It wasn't Star Wars. So, okay, you guys, this is your guys' fault. You asked me to do it. All right. Finn was done dirty. I was hoping Finn was going to be a Jedi because at the beginning, he takes his helmet off. He's kind of suffocated. Kylo Ren looks at him. I'm thinking, okay, this is cool. A stormtrooper that's on the run that's going to become a Jedi. And then it's like, oh, it's all about Rey. Finn gets kicked to the side. They kick to the side. And I feel like John Boyega got screwed. I really do. I think Finn was a fantastic character in the first one. And then he just got rode into a hellhole. The first trilogy was literally A New Hope, Part 2. Let's see. Owen says he's a sun tuber or a tea house tuber. Rampress says sun green tuber. Jeez. Luminous says the first one of the trilogy wasn't bad. It went downhill with the following two. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker was the end for me. And stuff says no, it could have been fantastic, but the very first mistake they made was killing Max von Sydow. They had Ming the Merciless in their movie, and they killed him off immediately. I don't remember who that is. I don't remember. I mean, I know who Ming the Merciless is, but I don't know. Oh, Flash Gordon, Laura Santeca. Okay. I was like, what the hell? But no. I think Disney was just full of shit, and Lucas Films was a disgrace. But then again, so was the Indiana Jones. It was okay. It was a mid movie. It really. It's just about, to me, it was up there with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Never happened. There was only the trilogy. And it was Indiana Jones and his father riding off in the sunset with everybody. That's how it ended. See, I can pretend that shit don't exist, just like I don't care for the trilogies. I know they're talking about another trilogy and Rey's going to be involved in it, but it's like, yeah, no. And so it says they had an actor with solid gravitas and he got less than a minute of lines. Yeah, they do that to you. They do it all the time. You know, they're always find new and creative ways to screw over people. That's what that says. I mean, we all pretend the TV show Velma doesn't exist too. Yeah, that's why they finally axed that one after 2 seasons. So here's the concept. Here's a question for you guys on X, YouTube, all that. You can speak if you want. I don't care. Does hate watching screw it? Does it screw it for everybody? To me, hate watching, if there's only a few people doing it, may not. But if you have a lot of content creators all tag teaming and you have people all watching it still, and on top of that, the ratings may actually be higher because of hate watching. I mean, think of the old days. Let's wind the clock back to the 80s. Hell, I'll give you maybe 70s. I don't remember when it really happened. Howard Stern, the voice on media radio station who broke all the rules and changed everything, and nothing was censored with him. And he got himself in so much trouble back with the FCC and everything else back then. But the interesting thing with that was he changed the dynamics, and people hate watched because they wanted to see what he would do next. I mean, that's what it was. So people that turn around and hate watch, they just want to see how bad and what they'll do next, but it's still giving them ratings, the companies or the movies. And so that's part of the problem that you look at when you look at the long scheme of things. That's just part of it. And let's see. Someone says, I love the Willow TV show. It was absolutely bad that it was amazing. And Disney took it out so you can't watch it. That was a dumpster fire. Warwick Davis, God bless his soul. Love him as in Willow. Love him in pretty much all his movies. Leprechaun. Oh man, that was a good one. That was such a disservice to him and the Willow movie. Stavik says, it's like the writer said, how can we tell an epic fantasy story? Wrong answers, only go! And Owen says, I'm just here to show. And Seth says his name's Warwick Davis, yeah. The Ewok was named after him. Owen says, you're just here for the show. Oh. Holly says, I have no clue on some of this. I was born 2009. You know what? So I'm going to give you the best thing you could think of, Owen. Go back to the 80s. Find all the 80s movies. Find all the 90s movies. And basically the second debut in Warwick. Okay, I see it. Okay. Gotcha. Well, but go find 80s movies. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. Great movies. Pretty much any action movie. Last Action Hero, Delta Force. Let's just go back to the old 80s where it was one and done. One of my favorite movies with Michael Douglas. Falling Down, guys. Great movie. Great movie. How many? I mean, that one had everything in it, Falling Down. And then, let's see. 90s, we had some good ones. I think Flubber was 90s or maybe early 2000. Whenever Robin Williams was still alive. Yeah. I don't remember when that was. Yeah, I feel like early 2000s was good. You had great movies with like Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Great trilogy. Perfect. One and done. There were some things that could have been done a little better, but they cut a lot of the fluff out and they told the story beautifully. Then they turned around and took the prequels of Lord of the Rings, broke it in 3 movies, tried to stretch it out, and what the hell happened then? You stretch it out, and yeah, it was all right. It wasn't as good as the original trilogy. And then you got Rings of Power, and it's like, wow, we took a wrong turn at Albuquerque here. And let's see. Luminous says, The Witcher TV show is a good example of wrong choices. As soon as they moved away from the source of material, the actor quit and the show was just as bad after. Yeah. Well, when you lose Henry Cavill, yeah. Matrix is a good series. Looking at the other chat here, we have... let's see. Oh, it says, love E-Lord and the Hunger Games and D&D. Babe credits web. Some of those I haven't heard. Ivan has some great selection here that we'll definitely cover on this one. Ivan says True Lies, 1994, RoboCop, 2004, Dawn of the Dead, The Matrix series, Men in Black, early 2000s movies, I, Robot, Iron Giant. Those are all timeless classics. You got some really good one. You got some really good classics there, Ivan. Fantastic. Lord of the Rings, I already brought that one up. But I feel like when we hit 2010, and especially as we got closer to COVID, the quality of writing just went, Cars, Owen Wilson, yeah, that was a good one. Princess Bride. Princess Bride is a timeless classic. So, see, you guys are coming with all these great movies. That is fantastic. Let me double check X and make sure nobody's saying anything, because I want to make sure that I'm not ignoring X viewers. I don't think I am. Okay, no, we're good. I was making sure that chat still hasn't popping up over there, because like I said, I want to make sure everybody's, we're engaging with everybody. That's my big thing. Then we had some really bad movie flops. Anyone remember a movie called Aragon? God, that was a trash movie. That one just went right out the window. And you guys had labeled a lot of good movies. There's still good games out there too. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good games out there, but mostly it's indie games nowadays. AAA's kind of fell to the wayside. It's it's a giant garbage heap, and I don't know. You know what? Gosh, the tea time thing has been fun. You know what? We're gonna definitely do this again Tuesday, just like we're gonna still have the Dragon Slayer on Wednesday, where we talk about stuff. Damn, this has been enjoyable. You guys are awesome. You guys make this work. I mean, you guys kick ass. Much love to my viewers. I feel console era, Owen. Yeah, PlayStation 2 and 3 were probably the best. I did not do 2 because of the way it was. Oh, why did you have to bring up Wild West Dynasty? Oh my God, that was a travesty, Luminessa. Hey, Dabbles. We were talking about crap movies and good movies. We were telling Owen here all the good movies that he could find. Hey, Luminessa will always remember my sound effects with the boar trying to kill me while I was in dialogue, and the poor sound effects and the graphics that looked like it was somebody's high school computer project. God. Oh, Duck Dynasty. God, I remember those. Guys, that was a weird show. Yeah. Dabbles Saving says, "Oh, good movies are from 1995 and above." Dabbles, go to your room. Why would you say that? There was a lot of good movies in the 80s. I mean, let's throw back to Masters Universe. Story sucked. I guess I found out there was a lot of licensing issues why they couldn't use a lot of the Skeletor minions, and also a lot of the Masters Universe. Dolph Lundgren wasn't bad for He-Man for what it was, but I tell you what, I absolutely loved the sword fights with Skeletor and He-Man at the end. I mean, out of the whole movie, the fight with Skeletor and He-Man was awesome for what it was in the 80s. I remember seeing that as a kid. That was such a damn good movie for the fight scenes, because you didn't have that kind of cinematics very well. I missed that part. Gladiator. Gladiator was a good one. I don't know how I feel about Gladiator 2. It was a movie that we really didn't need 30 years later. And now they're talking about Gladiator 3. My good Lord, we don't need this. But here we're talking about Hollywood going back to find all the good classics, writing new stories for them, and doing a sequel 30 years later. Just because they're out of ideas. Yeah. Davos says, well, that's what I mean from above. So 1995 to even when film was first introduced. Luminous says, I still watch MASH and Hogan's Heroes. Love Glider and Troy. And Golden Girls, Owen says. Big Bang. Big Bang was alright. I mean, for TV. Oh, Ivan says some more. He suggests, even the Resident Evil movies live action were better than modern movie. Even his cringe. And not the Netflix Resident Evil. We don't talk about Netflix doing those damn remakes. What the hell's wrong with you, Ivan? We don't talk about that. We don't talk about it. Now that Dabble said Evil Dead was amazing, Army of Darkness, one of the best damn movies out there with Bruce Campbell. I don't care what everybody says. I still watch that movie. That one was so good. Hail to the king, baby. That was a good one. Let's see. This is my boomstick. God, I have that clip somewhere. I need to pull up on my stream deck and get this set up again where I could just hit it and he goes, "This is my boomstick." Or Lethal Weapon where he says, "I'm too old for this shit." Lethal Weapon, guys, great series, great movies too in the 80s and 90s. Shop S Smart. Dude, that whole movie from start to finish with Army of Darkness was great. And Owen says, F Young Sheldon. I heard that it wasn't that good. But that's the problem. They're trying to capitalize off something that's successful by adding new stuff to it, and it just don't pan out. It never does. It don't. I mean, I don't know. That's the damn problem with all this. I mean, you know, I still watch some of the old black and white TV shows. Gunsmoke. Let's see, Gunsmoke, Mr. Ed, which was, you know, some old timeless classics. I Love Lucy, freaking time classic. Owen says National Lampoon Christmas. Yeah, that was a good one. All the National Lampoons were really good. I liked European Vacation the best for some reason. And Ivan mentions Stargate, Firefly. The Firefly, which had Serenity, the movie, the finishing of it. Starship Troopers. Yes, the first Starship Troopers. What's wrong, Maggot? You want to live forever? Battlestar Galactica. I just remember the old one. I don't think I saw any of the new ones. Luminescent mentioned Farscape. Holy hell, you guys are talking about 80s and 90s stuff. This is great. In early 2000s, that was when we had a golden era of movies and television shows. Holy crap, this is fantastic. We'll have to talk about the golden age of gaming on next Tea Time. And we may have some guests on Tea Time. I'm working on that too. You know, it just kind of depends on what we have. But yeah. So let's see. Seth says, I love Lucy was terrific, but I'll admit to loving the Carol Burnett show. She has the most fantastic actors in her ensemble. Yes, the Carol Burnett show was really good. Babylon 5, that was a good one. House. Oh, it says, always wanted a house, Mr. Ed. Okay, so yeah, I think we got everything here. I think we're catching up to everything. Oh, Devil says, my favorite is Blazing Saddles. Freaking hilarious at its time. Blazing Saddles is a good movie. It hasn't aged well with the times and the way it changed. Well, let's just be honest on that as a disclaimer. But Blazing Saddles is a timeless classic, too. I mean, pretty much. Also, the thing with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder were really good. I mean, my favorite movie with those two was Hear No Evil, See No Evil, where one of them's blind, one of them's deaf. I thought that one was freaking hilarious. But then again, you know, then we start talking comedians. Richard Pryor is still the GOAT to this day. Safka says, Blaze Cells is aged just fine. Its size that hasn't aged well. That's true too, Safka. I think everybody gets a little too sensitive nowadays to it. It's like, why? It's a freaking classic. Watch it. I missed out the opportunity to go see it at a big theater because, and where I was at, they had it 3 or 4 months ago at the big theater, and I just forgot because I was just gonna go check it on the big screen. I thought that would have been great to see an old classic like that on the big IMAX, but never got to. Let's see. Pretty much anything Richard Pryor's been in has been hilarious. And yeah, Dabble says, funny is just funny. Leave it at that. Well, yeah, you got to think of it. Comedy changed. Comedy has de-evolved. Let's just say what it is. Comedy has changed too much. Stephanie says, we skipped one of the best movies of the era, The Goonies. Yes, The Goonies is a great one. I've heard they're talking about a sequel now. Again, bringing back a lot of the old cast. I'm like, no. So here's the moral of the story. All these timeless classics just needed a one and done movie. Now we're bringing all these sequels back. We're bringing sequels because Hollywood doesn't know what their head from their ass. And Luminessa says, another good show that went to crap due to the change in writers, The Orville. Yeah. Well, look at Family Guy. Family Guy is not as funny as it used to be. The Simpsons isn't as funny as it used to be. Everything has to be politically correct. Yeah, you're right, Dabbles. It's not so much that comedy's changed, it's people being offended from just jokes. Yeah, well, you're 100% spot on there. That is, that's, let's just be real. That's everybody's, I don't want to say everybody, but there's people that have gotten too sensitive to things. We used to laugh about everything. We used to just have a good time. Now everything has to be correct politically, all that. It's like, that's why people don't get a laugh as much as they used to. People don't get to enjoy stuff like they used to. Yeah, Luminessa, you're right. We just come from a different era. I just feel bad for the younger generations that they're missing out on such a great classics of 30, 40 years worth of content. Comedy is something that's supposed to brighten your day. I know some of my folks still go back to a lot of these older movies because they want to laugh. They want, this just not as funny. And hey, Andy, how you doing? It's just, I don't really think we have changed. I think we've just learned. I feel like folks have just not, somewhere humor has faded. And and you are 100% right, Dabbles. It's okay to laugh at yourself. I fell the other day and I said, what the hell? Didn't you guys feel the frickin' earthquake? Okay. Everybody laughed. I laughed. Had a good time with it. Like, holy shit, the whole ground was shaking. I think there's a chasm forming down here. We were just making a joke at my expense. I get it. I'm a big guy. I can make fun of myself on that. I'm working on losing the weight because, for some of those that don't know, I've had a blood clot in my leg and, could, not to go too much, but let's just say I'm, I could have a stroke or heart attack at any time. So I'm trying to get that, but the good news is I'm going to gym 4 times a week. I'm doing push-ups and all sorts of stuff, getting really super active, finding a way to do that between my day job and eating job and all that. It's just a matter of taking care of your health. And Andy says, the hospital, what is it, doctor? It's a big building with sick people in it, but that's not important now. Yeah, I remember the old comedy like that. Yeah, so there's, it's, not to say too much on that, but no, I just found out last week I had a blood clot, so. And he says, cut out the carbs, lost 71 year eating no carbs. Yeah, I agree with you on that. But it's not health advice, because I don't want YouTube to think I'm trying to give health advice, because we all know how it is. So, if you're worried about losing weight, please go see your doctor. Gotta do that disclaimer. Also, don't forget to smash that like button, guys. Damn, this has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this a lot with you guys tonight. course, I'm out of hot water, so, you know. Also, I am working on this for merch at some point, so yeah, I figure out what we're gonna do. I'm working on a dealer and stuff for this stuff. This shit, this stuff, whatever. Seth says Top Secret is a funny spoof. It's just saying how much production value they put into throwaway jokes. Yeah. I've heard about pickle juice being healthy. Yep. How it says, it's been a long time since I was a little boy. It's been a long time since I was a pony. Mr. Ed, yep. Yep. You guys have been fantastic tonight. God, I love this dialogue. This has been great. I'm just reading through chat here real fast. All right, so just kind of give you guys a plan. Tomorrow around 8:30 Eastern, I will be streaming. I think we're going to cover I might cover some Elin tomorrow. It's an indie game. It's a sequel or prequel to Ilona, which was, I guess it's a JRPG sandbox game. May cover that one. I'm kind of about that. It's about I don't know. It's a long-term kind of game, but you also build your own towns and stuff. What time Central? That would be 7:30 Central. And then Friday, we are introducing another fun game to the mix. It's a strategy game. At 8:30 Eastern Friday, we will be diving into Empire of Ants. It is a real-time strategy where you lead your ants to go conquer the world. So, this seems like an interesting reminiscent to Simant. And then Wednesday or Saturday, we'll still have our DJ and Green stream at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern Saturday night, we'll have a game that we're going to figure out. And Devil says, fantastic game in Parasocial. Yeah, I'm getting back into strategy. We just did the Warcraft remastered series, Dabbles. Maybe we might jump into some StarCraft reminiscent Saturday night, but it will probably be strategy or city building or survival. Definitely go through it. Oh yeah, Dabbles. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting beat down in a strategy game because I enjoy that stuff. All right, guys, if you're on X, don't forget to follow. We'll be doing more. Let's see. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing on YouTube. Like I said, I do a lot of streams. I am hoping by next week I'll have the reviews out. I also have an interview Monday, so just a reminder, no stream on Monday. Next week, we will have a lot of streams and stuff because it's Thanksgiving, Black Friday. So we'll be going through that stuff. I will also be on Orc Source's afternoon show Friday for Black Friday because I can finally be on his show. You know, poor guy's in Germany, so I have to coordinate time zones. So yeah, we'll be doing a lot of stuff there. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Appreciate you all. You guys have been great. With that, I bid you all a good night, and I hope to see you all tomorrow for some fun. Peace.